Welcome everybody to today's webinar on digital coupons, digital offers, and how they impact your business. I'm Linda Toth, Managing Director for Conexxus. Rob, you can advance to the next slide, please. And I'm Managing Director for Conexxus. I'm also your host and moderator today. I have a few housekeeping items that we need to go over. First, this webinar is being recorded. It'll be made available on Conexxus365.org. Obviously, you're already subscribers if you're here. To go back and watch any of the on-demand playbacks, all you need to do is log in. You'll be on your dashboard, look for the Products tab, click on the webinar that you'd like to watch, and click the next links to either download the deck or watch the recording. Today you're all on mute, so if you have questions, I would encourage you to get those in early. We often run out of time in these webinars. There's so many questions. So get them in early, and in order to do that, you'll see a question and answer tab on your GoToWebinar meeting control panel interface. So go ahead and get those typed in. Some webinars that we do actually count for PCI continuing education credits. So if you're interested in those, please email us to find out which ones count, and we'll get you a certificate if you need one. I'd like to give a big shout out. Disclaimer. So so this is the legal disclaimer our lawyer makes us put into the deck. Basically, we don't endorse any products or services, and the views and opinions expressed are not necessarily those of Conexxus. So I'd like to give a big shout out to our annual Diamond sponsors. The extra support that they provide us is really appreciated, and it allows us to continue doing the work that we do on behalf of the industry. So a little bit about Conexxus. We are a nonprofit technology organization. We are independent of NACS, but we work very closely with NACS on many endeavors. We are a volunteer organization. Our members do the heavy lifting. We just provide that neutral forum where our retailers and vendors can work together. They can network, they can come together to create standards and solutions for the benefit of the industry. We also do education through webinars like today. We do a series of white papers, and then we also advocate on behalf of the industry. So we make sure that we're sitting at the table when other organizations are studying standards or policies, so that we do what's good for the industry and we don't negatively impact your ability to do business. So since you're here, you're aware that Conexxus365 is where we're housing our weekly events. Next up, we have next Thursday at noon, we have our first VIP webinar event, and this was with Ed Dazowski, who is VP of IT for North America at Circle K. And he focuses on innovation and agility. And I believe that Gray Taylor will actually be engaging with him in conversation next Thursday. So this is not one to be missed. Next week's webinar is part of the paid subscription, and that is $9.95 a month. So if you're interested in that, you can sign up directly where you signed up for the free plan. We also can do a bulk subscription for your company. Just let us know. But be sure to sign up because you don't want to miss Ed's conversation with Gray and the ability to ask questions. So here's a couple ways to connect with us, either through LinkedIn. There's some email addresses, so don't be afraid to email us if you have questions. So I'd like to get right on to our main presentation today. I have three presenters with me. All three of these people are experts in their own right, and I'm really happy they're here. First up, I have Brandy Johnson, who is CEO of the Coupon Bureau. And the Coupon Bureau is a nonprofit that validates digital offers, and they were born out of the work done at the coupon standards bodies. And they're working together with some partners to propel digital coupons and get us away from those paper coupons. We also have Josh Halpern. He is a subject matter expert in the alcohol space for promotions and discounting. He worked prior at FIFCO and Anheuser-Busch, or InBev. And he's currently working as a true age consultant in the alcohol and beverage segment. And then finally, we have Rob Balfour. He is the CEO of CoopDog, which that's a great company name. It's just fun to say, but they're also doing some innovative work using some new technologies to enable our whole ecosystem of digital offers. So please join me in welcoming our speakers, and I'll hand it off to Brandy.
Thanks so much, Linda. We're so excited to be here. Linda and I know that this has been a labor of love to be able to turn on digital offers for the C-store industry. And when I say digital offers, I know sometimes that's a little bit confusing. So we are talking about manufacturer delivered coupons, not loyalty. But what we're going to be discussing today is just, first of all, why do coupons matter to you as a merchant? And how can we help you leverage those dollars that are available from the CPGs? And why have CPGs not necessarily been as proactive in the C-store space? And then I'm going to introduce you to our new Universal Digital Coupon Standard and talk about how that benefits C-Store and how you guys will be able to leverage this in the future. I've also brought two of my new favorite friends. So I'm going to have Josh here, and he's going to speak to you guys from a CPG veteran perspective about how the CPGs are thinking about this new Universal Digital Coupon and why it's important to them. And then finally, we've got Rob. He's going to be joining us from Coop Dog. He's going to be talking about the technical stuff. I'm not the technical wizard here, but he is, and that's why we've got him. And then we're going to have a chance to be able to do some Q&A and answer y'all's questions here today. So the first thing that I wanted to just mention, and I'm sure most of this is pretty familiar to you guys being merchants, but couponing industry, the coupon processes and standards have not kept pace with today's shopper. And we have, as an industry, seen consumer usage declining. It doesn't have anything to do with the fact that shoppers aren't interested in saving money. They are. The challenge is that from a technological perspective, we haven't kept up with our shoppers. They understand now that they can, download their boarding pass to their wallet, and they can order Starbucks from their car before they even get there, and they still don't have a universal digital solution that they can utilize for coupons. And so the other, I think, issue that we've seen is fraud. Many of you guys have probably experienced this or at least aware of it. Fraud is a killer in the space when it comes to CPGs wanting to activate these types of coupons. And so what we've seen over the last few years is with the increase of fraud, CPGs or brands get more gun shy about not wanting to go over their budgets or not wanting to open themselves up to liability. And so we've seen those coupon values decrease. Because the coupon's value decrease, shoppers are less likely to engage with them, and then this negative, spiral continues. The other issue is right now, today, digital means loyalty, and that's in your space as well as in the grocery space. And that's fantastic for the retailers and for their loyalty members. However, what are we doing about the retailers that don't have loyalty programs? How can they leverage digital with their shoppers? Or what about those shoppers that aren't part of a loyalty program? And so this concept of the new universal digital solution is what we're hoping to be the remedy for this. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about the Coupon Bureau. We are an industry managed nonprofit, and we were actually born out of a project about 5 years ago in the grocery industry. The industry powers that manage all the standards and guidelines for grocery coupons said we need a universal digital solution. Right now, retailers have a digital solution through their loyalty programs, but manufacturers don't have a way to issue a digital coupon that can be then redeemed in any store. So as an industry, how could we solve for this? The concept that we developed was this new ecosystem, an ecosystem where all of the various stakeholders can connect to a centralized database of offers and be able to validate them in real time, be able to have a single source of truth for those offer details, and then have a centralized data exchange and a standardized data exchange so that all the various stakeholders could know what happened with that coupon, where was it redeemed, who needs their money back, and where do I go get it from? And so the Coupon Bureau is the entity that supports that ecosystem, also manages the new master offer files that contain all of this data. And we're basically here to just support the industry in a similar way to what Conexxus does by reinforcing the standards. So in order for us to create this new coupon process or environment that would support universal digital, as an industry or as a standard, we needed to do three things. First of all, we needed a new, what the industry or GS1 calls application identifier. I know it's kind of techie speak, but basically the application identifier is the set of numbers that lives at the beginning of the barcode. So right now, all coupons start with 8110. And what that does is it tells the point of sale, hey, this is a manufacturer coupon, so it knows what to do with it. Because we were going to have a new format, we needed the point of sale to know it needed to send that coupon data set or barcode to the Coupon Bureau for validation. So we asked GS1 to create this new 8112 application identifier. So you're going to hear probably through the industry, and maybe even from me today, us talk about these universal digital coupons or 8112, and that means the same thing. So I don't want you to be confused. The second thing that we needed to do was create that centralized database where all the relevant or available coupons could live. And so we've done that. And then the final piece is connectivity opportunities for everybody. So an ecosystem of APIs where manufacturers, retailers, clearinghouses, and coupon distributors could all connect to that database and be able to send information back and forth. So how does it work? I know this chart probably looks a little complex, but it's really pretty basic. The standard coupon flow that or process as it lives in today's 8110 coupon environment is a manufacturer decides they want to do a coupon, then they reach out to their clearinghouse or data set provider to build the barcode. They give that barcode to their coupon distribution partner. They distribute it to the shoppers. The shoppers take them in to redeem. This is where it gets a little bit different. So right now, all the information about that coupon that the point of sale needs to be able to validate whether it's real or not has to get shoved into that data string because there is no third party outreach that can be done from the point of sale to validate whether or not that coupon is legitimate. So now through that current workflow, we are adding the Coupon Bureau database master offer files that just sit on top of the ecosystem. So as those coupons are created and then distributed, that distributed serialized data string, the one that I got for Brandy Johnson from Coca-Cola, would also live in the Coupon Bureau's master offer file. So then whenever I walk into my store to redeem it, I present it, the barcode gets scanned, the point of sale says, oh, 8112, I know what to do with this. We're gonna send it to the Coupon Bureau. The new barcode is shorter because we have this real-time connectivity. All that information doesn't have to get shoved into the data stream. So now we use that barcode as a lookup code. And so when the Coupon Bureau receives that barcode, it says, oh, this is the master offer file that I need to go look in. I need to make sure that this offer is valid. I need to make sure that this serial number or that Brandy hasn't used this coupon before. And if those things are all good, then we at that time push the purchase requirements down to the point of sale. So a little bit different part of the process. The reason that this is important, several actually. First thing is we're going to help mitigate fraud. Right now, you can go online and look for 8110 barcode generators as a shopper and make your own, which is not a good thing. And this has obviously contributed to the fraud, counterfeits, and over redemptions that we're seeing today. So by removing those purchase requirements from the barcode that the shopper has and having them live in the Coupon Bureau, think about it like your two-step authentication that you may see when you log into apps sometimes. So they've got a piece of the information and we have a piece of the information, but those two things coming together to the point of sale is what gives the point of sale the information it needs to validate and then apply that coupon discount. So a couple other things I wanted to mention about the new barcode type. And I know I hinted around about this, but all of these new 8112 barcodes are mandatorily serialized. And that helped us meet a requirement that we had from the CPGs that they wanted kill at the till or single use coupons, meaning Brandy could get it, Brandy can use it, but Brandy can't share it to her 5 friends, thus causing over redemptions. The other thing that the CPGs asked is, can we please get to G10 or UPC level validation? Meaning if Coca-Cola wants to do a coupon, but they only want it off of a 12 pack of Coke Zero, then we would be able to push that G10 to the point of sale and say, this is the only one it can be used on. Not on any Coke product, just on that 12 pack of Coke Zero. We've removed family code because we don't need them anymore. They were the step between company prefix and G10. So because we've gone straight to UPC validation, they're not necessary. So no more having to keep up with family code databases. So all in all, much better tool And we're creating an ecosystem to future-proof retailers, merchants in the future as new coupon innovation happens. So when and where, how does this shape up or shake out for retailers specifically? Originally, 8112 was just supposed to be a retailer agnostic mobile solution for retailers, or I'm sorry, for CPGs. As we started implementing all of the tools and processes that we needed in order to fulfill that requirement, we realized that we had mitigated fraud in the process. Because of that, the coupon industry standards and guidelines entities have said 8112 or universal digital coupons from the Bureau aren't just going to be a new thing. They're actually going to be the thing that we're going to transition to as an industry. And so as you can see on the roadmap here right now, our goal or our trigger is for us to get to 75% retailer connectivity as a coupon bureau. Once that happens, then the industry is going to institute a 2-year sunset on the current 8110 coupon format. Not so much a direct hit or implication for you guys from a C-store perspective, because y'all haven't been participating that much with paper coupons. And that's not a bad thing. We're going to jump straight over paper and we're just going to go straight to digital. But for the grocery industry, for the retailers, they're like, wow, this isn't a, am I going to connect and do this? This is now a win. And so I love that we're able to introduce this concept to you guys right now as we're rolling it out, and that you guys aren't at the tail end of this new innovation. So because I keep talking a lot about grocery, that's where we were born as an institution. I can tell you that I had a very personal driver to be able to work with C-Store. About 10 years ago, I was talking to a friend of mine over at Coca-Cola, and we were at that time a print at home coupon company, coupon provider. And I said, Lori, if we could fix anything for you, because I have the best technicians in the world when it comes to coupons, what would it be? And I was expecting her to say something like more media options or I don't know, something. And she looked at me and said, I need you to fix C-Store. And I was like, what? I don't know anything about that space. But what she was saying to me in that time is that they wanted to be able to do promotions and things in C-Store, but just the processes were different and they didn't match what was happening in grocery. And so sometimes the CPGs were a little bit reluctant to do those types of coupons. And so as soon as we started getting TCB process and standards worked on and then built, I reached out to Linda and Gray at Conexxus and said, I know this is an issue for CPGs because someone told me 10 years ago, but it is super important. And I feel the same way about the C-Store market as I do with some of our independent grocers, because there's so many of you guys. There aren't necessarily the huge, big, Krogers and Walmarts. I feel like sometimes the independents or the smaller mid-tier merchants end up getting left out. And so it was a mission for us to make sure that we could work with Conexxus, make sure that the standards that we were instituting on the grocery side of the business were also the ones that were being adopted in C-Store. Making sure that from Coupon Bureau's perspective, our standards were meeting Conexxus standards, because they just do a fantastic job for their members, making sure that y'all have the best so that innovation can live here. And so I've been really excited to work with specifically the Conexxus team to understand what are some of those different challenges or maybe even different techniques or protocols that we need to put in place to make sure that we're supporting C-Store. And so I'm super excited to say that I've got my number one guy that's going to come up right now. I know that this is really important for us. We recognize the value of couponing and what it can mean to you as a merchant. But I would love for you to hear how CPGs are thinking about these offer types, because I think it will help you understand the floodgate of promotional dollars that being able to accept Universal Digital is going to open up to you guys. So with that, I'm going to ask Josh to give us his thoughts on what Universal Digital means.
All right, thanks, Brandy. And as Linda said earlier, I've been in Alc Bev for the last 8 years, first with Anheuser-Busch, where I led the C-Store channel, then with FIFCO, where I was the chief sales officer. But prior to that, I was at Procter & Gamble, Clorox, Reckitt Benckiser. So coupons have been pretty near and dear to me since the very beginning of my career. And I wanted to explain to you guys for a hot minute why big CPG has not prioritized the C-Store class of trade historically in coupons, as Brandy just mentioned a minute ago. And part of it is you go back to before smartphones, if you could remember that far back at this point, right? We had in CPG something that was known as the FSCI, FSCI as it's shown here, which stood for Freestanding Coupon Insert. So you may remember the Sunday newspaper. Some of you may get it. Most of you probably still don't or don't anymore, right? And when you would get that Sunday newspaper, in the middle of the fold, there would be a big stack of coupons. And that big stack of coupons cost CPG a ton of money to make, right? Millions and millions of dollars to be in that Sunday newspaper with the freestanding coupon insert, the FSCI in the middle. And the main reason we did it, we knew 99% of those FSCIs were going to be thrown away. But we did it anyway. And we did it because we knew that the large format retailer, the Walmarts, Krogers of the world, et cetera, would say, if they're investing behind the FSCI, we will give them feature and display. So there was no return on investment for the coupon itself, but there was considerable return on investment when you factored in the feature and display that went with it, because now the retailer was putting us into their circulars. Remember circulars, guys, right? And we would get this 50 case display. When you think about the cost of printing, it was very, very prohibitive to do it. So we would try to attribute to the coupon the largest pack size available, because then the value of the coupon proposition would be a lower percentage of our dollar sales, which in C-store got hard, right? Especially when you're thinking about candy bars at 50 cents versus a big, let's say, stand-up, a gusseted bag of candy for $9 or $10. That was before the smartphone. Then the smartphone comes out and we start getting the first generation of digital coupons. And we all said, this is amazing. This is so great. Because we could cut all of the cost out of the system, we no longer need to do printing, right? We can just focus on the offer itself plus a little bit of cost on the digital. And all of a sudden the ROI got better on the coupons. But the problem was our behavior didn't change. We were still treating it as a CPG community like we had to get this massive ROI that we no longer needed to get. And now the digital coupon 2.0 age is upon us. Everything Brandy just talked about a minute ago. And this is the game changer. And here's why it's the game changer. For the first time, CPGs are not focused on how this benefits the retailer directly, but they're focused on how does the coupon benefit the consumer. More and more, you're going to hear this term, one-to-one promotions. Because I, as a CPG company, now have the ability to talk to every consumer individually and offer them the deal that works best for them. The best example I would give you on this is in your own email, right? You're probably on some email list and you get the offer for 20% off. And if you don't click on it, then it'll show you 25% off. And if you still don't click on it, it might go to 30% off. Or maybe they'll throw in a, get $20 off $100. All of those different permutations are basically these companies trying to figure out what are the promotions that get you to click and what are the ones that don't. I know, for instance, with myself, I never click if it's dollars off. I never click if it's percent off. But on a buy this, get that, I'm more likely to personally click. And we now have the ability to talk to every consumer and give them a unique proposition, which is what one-to-one promotions are. Here's why this is important for you if we go to the next slide. There are basically 8 shopper missions right now, right? The consume now mission, the bring to a social gathering mission. I just ran out at home. I'm stocking up. I'm just exploring. I have a coupon. I need it for today's needs. Or I just got my paycheck, so now I could refill the shelves. Before, when we had all these heavy print costs, CPG was focused on 4 missions: ran out, stock up, have a coupon, paycheck refill. Now with the barriers broken, with our ability to understand what promotions make the most sense consumer by consumer, we have the ability to target all 8 missions. And you'll see that in a variety of different promotional offerings. Some of my favorite offers when I was the C-store VP at AB were things that connected our larger packs of beer to your food service offerings inside of convenience stores. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Where this goes, Rob Balfour is going to show you in a second.
Thank you, Josh, so much for sharing. I feel like I learned something new every time I talk to you. Makes me wonder what I'm doing in the coupon business because I don't know as much as you. But I would just say one thing that I didn't mention earlier that I do think is really important. I know we're talking about digital, digital, digital. Everything that Josh was just talking about is more not about loyalty. So I don't want you guys to feel as if these new universal digital coupons are going to negatively impact your loyalty budgets. All of the CPGs that we've been talking to have said our loyalty programs work. They've been working. That isn't where we have a problem. Where we have a problem that we need to address and do better is in our direct consumer media that we're doing outreach on. Josh was talking about the FSIs. I was talking to Procter & Gamble, and they said right now with our FSIs or with our non-loyalty outreach, we can only reach maybe 50% of the families that we're trying to. But with Universal Digital, we would be able to reach 100. And so this is a combination of their loyalty programs with the well, that's a hard word, the digitization of paper and all those paper coupons that they're distributing today. So I just wanted to mention that really quickly. So now I would love to introduce you to Rob. He's the smartest guy on the team because he's the tech guy. We've talked about how and why. Now I know that all of you are probably thinking, but how does this actually work in my store? We knew on the digital offers committee that this was going to be the last leg. How do we make this happen at your point of sale? And as Coupon Bureau, we've brought in what we call accelerators, and they're specialists that already touch point of sale in some way that can be that bridge of connectivity between you and the Coupon Bureau. So Rob, I'm going to let you get to the good stuff, my friend.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Brandy, and thank you, Josh and Linda as well. So very quick background on us, because this really isn't just about CoopDog, but we are a relatively new company. We've been working on some real true technical innovations on couponing for almost the last 5 years. And we have a very, very aligned vision with Brandy in terms of all the limitations of couponing in the past and the potentials of the universal digital coupon format going forward. We play two really key roles in the ecosystem. As a retailer accelerator partner, we help retailers get on board and able to accept, electronically validate, and redeem, and actually get paid for these coupons, which is obviously very critical. We also work with the CPGs themselves to find innovative new ways to distribute coupons in many of the innovative ways that Josh had outlined earlier. We're also very excited to be working with Conexxus on the C-store channel, because like Brandy, we started first and foremost in grocery, but we're really excited and see huge potentials to deliver better promotional incentives to consumers and more promotional dollars to C-stores. And so really look forward to having a real standards-driven approach supported by great technology. My portion of the presentation, I really wanted to just try to make this a little bit more tangible and provide some real world examples or some example use cases so that you can see how the technology comes to life, and talk a little bit about how we actually activate in the retailer channel. So as a overview framework, we wanted to break the coupon journey down into 4 key steps. So the first step is the consumer has to discover a coupon, and what this universal digital coupon format provides is really an unmatched set of opportunities. Wherever a brand or a retailer wants to engage with a consumer, there is a creative way to get that consumer at that coupon into that consumer's hands in literally 1 or 2 clicks. That can be engaging with a consumer online in any of the channels that Josh had talked about: social media, email programs, brand websites, retailer websites. We can activate at the pump, we can activate in the store, we can activate and get consumers to discover offers in retailers' mobile apps and other mobile apps as well. The second step is, how does that consumer present the coupon in a retail store? And as you'll see as we go forward in this presentation, there are the ability to present individual coupons. That might be in Apple Wallet, that might be in Google Pay, that might be in even old-fashioned paper coupons, but just supported with this new electronic format. We can also present these coupons in loyalty apps. So coupons can be clipped, added to a retailer's loyalty mobile app, and the consumer can present their loyalty ID or loyalty card to redeem those coupons. The third step in the journey is basically validation and redemption. And what this means is, it means, as Brandy was alluding to earlier, we've got to adjudicate that the rules in the coupon match the customer's purchase. And we've got to do that electronically. And one of the big reasons that CPGs are going to put higher value coupons into the channel is because we can assure down to the SKU level with the 8112 format that precisely the UPCs in the rules are being purchased, and that's all electronically validated. There's no cashier override. There's no other discretion in the system. So it's a much more secure, much more foolproof system. And this system's designed for consumers to get immediate savings. So it's not a rebate app. The consumers are getting the value of the coupon right at the time of purchase. The final step in the journey is we have to get the retailers reimbursed. And so on our platform, we use blockchain technology to create a record of that transaction that is transparent and is not able to be altered. And that allows the retailer fundamentally to invoice the manufacturer for the value of the coupon and get reimbursed. And we'll go into that in a little more detail. So wanted to next show just 4 quick case studies. And these are these case studies are designed to be examples. They are not necessarily real case studies or campaigns. They're really use cases, but wanted to just provide a variety of the use cases that the universal digital coupon format supports. So this example is an impulse purchase example. You could include signage at the fuel pump. In this case, basically buy 3 cans of Pringles for grab and go size for $3. The consumer can scan a QR code at the pump. In 1 or 2 clicks, that coupon can be added into their mobile wallet, and then that drives them into store to buy that item and get that savings real time. So a really strong way to incent an impulse to purchase and have an immediate consumer action that drives them into the store for that purchase. The second method is an example of a online one-to-one distribution, as Josh was talking about in his portion of the presentation. So CPGs have, and retailers for that matter, have all sorts of innovative ways to connect with consumers online and connect to those consumers in a one-to-one or very targeted way. So this is an example of a new Pepsi brand aimed at teenagers that is launching, and Pepsi has a variety of innovative ways that they can connect with that desired audience online. Pepsi wants to drive a free sample of this product, and their target audience, the teenagers, are downloading these coupons into their mobile wallet, and having a free item that they can use in a convenience store is a compelling reason to get those consumers to come in to your store and purchase the product. But this is sort of an example of discovery online, and those retailers that can accept this new format are going to get a lot of additional foot traffic. This third example is actually a real world case study that was from Josh's experience at AB. But this is an example of combining a CPG purchase item, in this case, a 12-pack of Bud Light, with a food service, in this case, pepperoni pizza. So it was buy a case of 12-pack of Bud Light and get a $5 pizza. It's a really kind of effective way to do co-marketing or cross merchandising and support both in-store sales of Bud Light and drive food service sales as well. And the final last example, and this example is from Brandy, but a great example, is just kind of showcasing that as this standard starts to roll out in grocery and in mass retailers, so in grocery like Kroger and Walmart, C-Store's ability to actually accept these retailer agnostic coupons is going to be really critical, because you want to be able to compete for Brandy's purchase of a 12-pack of Coca-Cola on her way home from work. And so basically, convenience stores are going to be much more convenient path to purchase. And if those coupons can be accepted in your store, you're going to have a much better chance to be able to win that consumer trip over the mass retailers and the grocery players. So those are just kind of 4 high-level examples of kind of how this new universal digital coupon format can be used. Wanted to just talk a little bit about all of the examples that we showed are an individual coupon. So basically the customer experience is discovery of coupon, downloading an individual coupon into an Apple Wallet or a Google Pay account. And we've shown that on the left-hand side here. But there's also a bunch of other really convenient ways for consumers to present these coupons. So multiple coupons can be bundled into a single pass. So a CPG might want to have 5 or 6 coupons for a monthly campaign that they're doing, allow the consumer to download one pass that represents all 6 of those coupons, and then they just have to present the pass to redeem any of those individual coupons at retailer. All that is supported by the new 8112 format. There's also a whole set of tools to conveniently link coupons into retailer loyalty apps, and we can sort of share more offline about those details. But so the consumer coupons can be discovered inside a retailer loyalty app, clipped to the consumer's account, and then the loyalty card or the loyalty app can be presented to redeem those coupons. So just want to, message here is there's a tremendous flexibility in the presentation methods available for this 8112 format. The other thing is we've shown you a lot of examples using a 1D barcode to present the coupons. What that 1D barcode is representative of is the 8112 GS1 serial code that Brandy was alluding to earlier in the presentation. So that is a unique lookup that goes to the coupon bureau to find out if that's a legitimate code and to find the associated master offer file that contains the coupon rules. We've shown the 1D format because it's just a really broad common denominator of presentation method, but we don't want you to think that that's the only way that these coupons can be presented. There are alternative barcode formats like the PDF 417 barcode format that say the Starbucks app uses. There's QR codes, which you're all familiar with, that can also be used to present. You can do things like NFC tap, so you can tap an NFC beacon and basically download a coupon in that method. And then there are also these coupon codes are, well, they're much shorter than the existing paper coupon codes, which are about 70 characters. They're still 30 to 35 characters, so it's a long string of coupons. And for convenience, there's an e-commerce short code that can be basically that allows consumers to use these coupons online. And it also is useful in case their retailer doesn't have a barcode reader that you can, the cashier can basically manually type in these e-com codes and allow the consumer to redeem. So just wanted to take away message. There's lots of flexibility in that format. Don't think it's limited to 1D barcodes. My final slide is just wanted to share how we go about integrating with the retailer point of sale system. And their retailers can directly connect to the coupon bureau and or the POS vendors can directly connect to the coupon bureau. We try to make that connection easier. And so what we call the CoupDog platform is really a promotion hub. We're trying to extract all of the complexity away from the POS system, so we take care of everything in the cloud. And that both makes it easier to set up a retailer and activate a retailer out of the gate. It also future-proofs you. What we really do is, because we can add new features easily to the cloud without requiring a POS upgrade. And there's going to be a lot of innovation in this space, and we're really committed to ensuring that all of our partners, both CPGs and the retailers, have access to best-in-class technology, and we can do that in the Promotion Hub cloud. But essentially, to interconnect to a retailer POS system, there are just 3 simple APIs. So there is an API that basically when an 8112 coupon is presented, and as Brandy was alluding to, the 8112 is the beginning of the string of the barcode. So when that coupon is presented, the system goes typically goes to our cloud, and then we call the coupon bureau to find out if that code is legitimate. The second step, we take all of the coupons that are presented alongside with all of the items in the customer's shopping basket, and we match those coupons up against the items in the shopping basket, and we figure out which coupon matches up with which item and which coupons are valid. And we also calculate the discount that should be given to the customer. And let's say the customer presented 5 coupons and 3 of those coupons are valid. The final step in the transaction is we create what we call redemption tokens. Those redemption tokens basically are proof that the retailer has redeemed the coupon, and those redemption tokens get posted to a blockchain, and that blockchain basically that defines that all of the information that the CPGs need in order to get reimbursed, in order to reimburse the retailer for the value of those coupons. So the final note here, so hopefully the takeaway is it's really easy to interconnect with this 1, 2, 3 APIs. We're also in the process of working with most of the major POS vendors to create really easy to install plugins that include the triggers for these APIs and ensure that we're getting the right information out of the POS system in the right format to access these APIs. We are also going to be working with Conexxus on some different paths so that we can also integrate with the Conexxus loyalty host and loyalty standards as well. So that's coming soon. But takeaway is there are some, the goal here is to make it as easy as possible for retailers to activate, start accepting these 8112 coupons. And I'll turn things back to Brandy for next steps and way forward.
Thank you so much. He makes technology simple, which is really a gift. So I appreciate you going through all that, Rob. So I just wanted to kind of round this out with where are we in this process? So we've talked about the why, we've talked about the how. So I was the chair of the Digital Offers Committee, and we are in the final process right now of getting those standards complete and approved. And then we also needed to go back on the loyalty side and adjust some of those standards to make sure that the digital offers integration could happen there as well. So if there was an existing loyalty provider, that they could potentially be that accelerator bridge between us and the retailer POS. So that work's being done right now. We're also working with some of the various point of sale providers, either directly or through our partner CoopDog, to make sure that those POS providers understand the connectivity requirements and then can support you guys in that and getting it turned on in your store. And then finally, we're looking for some real world pilots, and we would love for it to be, any of you guys. So we're looking for 2 to 3 retailers right now. Some of you may know that, I guess now it's year before last. We lost a whole year to COVID. I don't know how that happened. But at NACS year before last, we had kind of walked through a proof of concept, but now we're ready for real world. We actually have real world happening on the grocery side, and we just don't want you guys to be too far behind. So if any of you are interested in a pilot, we would love to hear from you. But now I would like to turn it over to y'all so that you can come back to us and tell us maybe what we didn't explain well enough that needs a little bit more detail, or if you just have any other questions associated with universal digital coupons.
Okay, can we talk a little bit more about settlement? So there's a question, typically in the past, retailers have had to, bundle all those paper coupons and send them off, and God knows what happens to them, and then they just get a statement back, that here's how much you're getting, and the reconciliation process was pretty horrible. So can we talk a little bit more about settlement? Maybe Rob, go into that a little more, like how do retailers get paid? How quick is that? What does the reconciliation look like, et cetera?
Sure. Thanks, Linda. So and Brandy, maybe you can jump in as well. So there's no specific settlement process defined by 8112, but there are a bunch of industry guidelines. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the ACP that basically defines the data collection. And so there are going to be a number of different providers in the ecosystem that'll provide those settlement services. I can speak obviously directly to ours. So we have an integrated settlement element to our platform. So as I was explaining in the presentation, we use blockchain technology. So we're capturing the redemption data, and that data is actually cryptographically signed by the retailer. So we know exactly which retailer redeemed that coupon. We have evidence that that retailer has basically electronically verified using our platform. The coupon rules have been met, and then we're capturing that needed ACB standard industry data set. And the blockchain is an ideal technology for this because it's an immutable, unchangeable record of that transaction. So then the system basically either on a weekly or a monthly basis will generate an invoice from the retailers to the manufacturer, to the issuer of the coupon. We try to keep the invoice itself really simple because you've got all of the information on the blockchain. So typically it's a high-level invoice from retailer A to Coca-Cola, for example, and maybe there was 1,000 coupons that were redeemed that month. The system is going to give both Coca-Cola and the retailer all of the detailed information behind that. Basically, the invoice itself can be very simple. It can be sort of a consolidated high-level invoice. Typically, the payment terms are 30 days, and the month, as I was saying earlier, the invoicing frequency is weekly or monthly, depends on the setup.
Yep, I'll just add just a little bit more color to that. High level, I know that some of you may already be accepting coupons and working with the clearinghouse. And if that's your process, you can continue to use that process. So we've established with all the various clearinghouses a file standard that we created for 8112 because there aren't those pieces of paper getting moved around. How do we ensure that that data is standardized? And so we've got that in place. I think Mark asked this question. He said he has a clearinghouse today. So that's beautiful. That same process that you're using today with paper is what would happen. So the only difference here is that you would have all the data that's coming from the Coupon Bureau. So I mentioned earlier that we've got these real-time API connections, and one of those APIs is a redemption API. So you would be able to utilize that to create the invoices. However, I will say one of my favorite conversations I think I've probably ever had with Gray Taylor, he was like, okay, Brandy, tell me again how this works. Like, what happens with clearing? And I start telling him, well, the merchant has to like bundle up all the paper coupons, and they have to send them to Del Rio, Texas, and then they get walked across the board. And he's like, no. So I do think that one of my things that I love about Conexxus is implementing new standards that make it easier for you as merchants. So if you have a clearinghouse process that you're using today, you can continue that. However, Conexxus is working on enabling some new processes for you guys that are more streamlined, digital. Obviously, CoopDog is a piece of that, which we're really excited about. But if there's something that maybe you have a question about with your current provider and how it could work, please don't hesitate to reach out to us, and I'll be happy to work with you or your current provider if they're not already connected in the ecosystem.
Great, thank you. Josh, this one's for you. So TrueAge, we've heard a lot about TrueAge from Nax, and you're consulting on that project. How does this tie into this process, or how does TrueAge tie into this process?
I think it's a great question. The nice thing about TrueAge is the token could be embedded into the coupon, right? So now it's just an added level of protection for both the retailer and for the CPG, that we're making sure that the right people are able to consume the products. I definitely know that for the TrueAge team, getting integrated into the coupons and for the coupon providers and many of our retailers as well, is mission critical. So it's great to see multiple Conexxus kind of work streams merging together for the good of the retailer and for the consumer.
Okay, great. Question about loyalty and digital offers working together. So the adjudication of, if there's a manufacturer's coupon sitting in the loyalty program and there's some in the digital offers, and maybe both aren't valid together, how does that work? And maybe Rob, you could kind of refer back to your slide as far as the promotion hub, where does that happen, the adjudication for those offers?
Yeah, great question, Linda. So it's really a two-step process. So we sort of self-adjudicate the coupons that go through our promotion hub. So if there are two coupons off for the, there's a $1 off coupon and a $2 off coupon for the same UPC of a Coca-Cola product, we typically will provide the savings for the higher value of those two coupons. There are some retailer implementations where you're actually going to have coupons presented for multiple systems. And in that case, we tend to work with the POS vendor and on that POS implementation to make sure there's also an additional anti-stacking provision taken care of at the POS layer.
Okay, great. Question about the bundled coupons. So there was one of the use cases you had was bundled coupons where 5 different coupons could be bundled together with one code. Can the consumer choose to use one of those coupons, or do they have to use all 5 in the same trip?
You want me to answer that one, Rob?
You want to tackle that one? Yeah.
Sure, problem. So we knew that from a technical perspective, we were not creating latency at the register. However, we have humans that are using these, and humans can create slowdowns. So how do we do that? So we have a couple of options that our providers can layer into their tools. So the shopper can either pick one coupon and scan it at the register and use, or some of the providers are giving them the option to take 2 or 3 that they might want to use in that particular trip and combine them into a single scan, just so that we're not slowing register times down. So a concise answer is the shopper can do both. They can either use them individually or they can bundle them.
Okay, and then the ones that they haven't used are still valid for some period of time.
Yep.
Linda, can I just add real quickly, on both of the last 2 questions, if you're seeing that conflict within your stores, it means that the sales team and the marketing team within the CPG aren't talking to each other. So please do your national account manager a favor and call it out to them so they can kind of deal with that inside the company. Typically, loyalty type of coupons or trade marketing activity, which sits in the sales organization for most CPGs, while the general market stuff is typically a marketing activity. And I would love to tell you that sales and marketing teams and all CPGs are perfectly seamless in everything they do, but then I'd be lying to you, right? So please call that out to your national account manager whenever you see conflicts with either of the last 2 questions asked.
Great, thanks for that info, Josh. If we do a return, does the coupon get reactivated?
Yes. So if for whatever reason that transaction fails, whether the coupon purchase requirements weren't met, or maybe the debit card didn't work, whatever that reason could be, we have an API that we call a rollback to minimize the amount of calls having to come from the point of sale. Whenever we validate a coupon and we push that information down to the point of sale, in the coupon bureau, we're considering it redeemed. So if for whatever reason there's a transaction failure, then the point of sale could issue a rollback, and that would reactivate that coupon for the shopper so that they could use it in a future trip.
So what about in the case of a return, not just a failed transaction, but the consumer, walks away with it and now then returns the product?
Same. That rollback could still be initiated. Yes.
Okay, great. So where are we at with POS integrations? I know there's that piece, they can either go direct to the coupon bureau using a Conexxus standard, or they could go to a promotion hub like CoopDog. Where do we stand with POS vendor integration?
Yep, that's a fantastic question. We use what we call an accelerator, as I mentioned earlier, which is what Rob and CoopDog are. However, we have been working with some direct conversations with some of the POS providers. I personally have had a couple of conversations with NCR. I know that Rob has been working with Verifone. We would just Barco. We would love to continue those conversations, but we are actively working on that right now. I can't tell you that any of the POS have a blanket acceptance right now for connectivity to the coupon bureau. Obviously, we would love to get to that point. And so Rob and some of our other accelerator partners are helping us kind of be that bridge to make sure that we're capturing each of those POS capabilities, and also they're nuancy. Every one of them, if it's a larger merchant, you might have your own native code there. So how can we bridge that gap? And so Rob and team have been great helping us with that.
Yeah, just to add what Brandy's saying, yeah, we've put a lot of effort into making it really easy to interconnect. So really, it's 3 APIs. We are having a number of conversations with the different POS vendors, but obviously, if you're a retailer and you can ask your POS vendor and say this is something you want, that will move it up the priority list of these partners. Typically, what we like to do is create sort of an integrated plugin for that POS that interconnects to our APIs and the Coupon Bureau's APIs, so that the POS vendors can kind of support that plugin as they continue to upgrade their own platforms, make sure all of that's compatible, and that gives the retailers, great rest assurance that this is going to work as the POS systems get upgraded. So we try to make it really easy. Typically, it's around a month's work to integrate, and then with POS vendor, and then hopefully then that makes it just a number of days to integrate at the retail store. That's really the goal.
Okay, great. So we are coming up on top of the hour here. Let's see. So who should people reach out to if they're willing to do a pilot?
Brandy.
Okay. I would say absolutely. And not only just for pilot, but if there's something, a piece of information that maybe we didn't cover, or I noticed one of the questions said, if I present this to my larger group in their company, we, just like Conexxus, Coupon Bureau's job is to make sure that we're helping with education. So if you even need an internal group webinar to describe it to your internal team, we would support that. And I know that Conexxus probably would as well. But I would say reach out to me, my email address, whether you're watching this today live or in the future, don't hesitate to email me, Brandy, BRANDI at thecouponbureau.org. And also at the couponbureau.org website, we've got some great FAQs. Sign up for our newsletter so you can just hear about new things that are happening, maybe new providers or new opportunities. But yeah, we would love to hear from you.
Okay. So like I said, we are just at the top of the hour. Any parting thoughts before we dismiss these fine folks in the audience?
I would just like to say how excited I am that we're going to be able to bring this capability to C-store merchants. I see this vision, and maybe it's because I talk to so many of the CPGs every day. They're like, how soon? How soon? How soon? We're ready. We're ready. And so I'm very excited that we're able to bring this to you guys. And I think that you're going to see a dramatic impact in your business by being able to leverage these incremental promotional dollars that you may be missing out on today. So we're excited. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for making the time.
Alrighty, thanks Brandy, Josh, and Rob. Audience, thank you for participating and your attention. And we will see you next time on Conexxus 365.
Thanks
Thanks
guys.
everyone.